At the Goldilocks School for Wee Little Bears, the cubs finished recess, then back to their chairs. But one little panda, named Nüwa, was new. She had gotten no sleep, and her mood was quite blue. Her nightmares were fearsome, with great dragons fell. Her eyes had dark circles, though it was hard to tell. Mr. Mason began to teach Nüwa's class, but words bounced right off her as if behind glass. Dragons. Dragons big and dragons old, dragons hot and dragons cold, some covered in feathers, some covered in hair, and each one of these dragons just loved to eat bear. Whack! Miss Nüwa, said teacher, with firmest of voice, if you daydream in class, you make a poor choice. Do you think Nüwa whined? Did she cry? Did she pout? Well, her lip did tremble, but she sure didn't shout. Mr. Mason, she said, polite as could be, Mom and Dad said this school is safest for me. But what about dragons, who love pandas most? If one came to our school, we all would be toast. Dragons, dragons big and dragons old, dragons hot and dragons cold, some covered in feathers, some covered in hair, and each one of these dragons just loves to eat bear. The cubs' giggles died down. They'd heard stories too of bear-eating dragons come hunting for you. For one careful moment, Mr. Mason's eyes met Nüwa's, and he said, I now realize that dear Nüwa's query is perfect today for all of the lessons I wish to convey. To answer this question, here's one of my own, and everyone present, put on thinking cones. Now, if you do not know what thinking cones do, you should not be worried, 'cause neither did Nüwa. Now here is a puzzler, better get steppin'. What is a fierce dragon's most deadly weapon? It's claws, said Pierre, without raising hand, to rip cubs into shreds. He made it sound grand. Nuh-uh, it's their fangs, lisped Marcy through braces, to chew up the cubs they stuff in their faces. It seems you've forgotten, chirped Avery the bird, that it's pyrotechnics. Pierre whispered, Nerd. Very good, very good. You've made quite a start, but what makes it dangerous to bear cubs? Its heart. Nüwa shut her mouth. Had she spoke out of turn? What's a thinking cone? She had so much to learn. Yes, Nüwa, go on, said Mr. M brightly. Nüwa fixed her cone. If I'm thinking rightly, a good-hearted dragon won't want to hurt us, but bad-hearted dragons eat cubs while they cuss. If you can believe it, my daddy told me that black-hearted dragons have contests to see which dragon can beat the bear-eating record. They dress up to eat in suits striped and checkered. As Nüwa finished, she only could wonder if what she just said was one major blunder. Wunderbar, Nüwa, cheered Mr. M gladly. Then Pierre chipped in, and Maurice, and Bradley. Wunderbar, 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 Nüwa. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. 1, 2, eyes on you. Put your cones in your desk, right next to your glue. Nüwa, being bright, had a light bulb turn on. The cones were to help conversation go on. Mr. Wingate, he called, spare a moment, please. Our new student Nüwa has not met, you see. Now, Nüwa, said teacher, your parents were right when they told you this school was safe from such plight. Boom. Mr. Wingate appeared. Boom. The floor all a-waggin'. Boom. For you see, Mr. Wingate, boom, was a towering dragon. This dragon was big. This dragon was old. His breath looked quite hot. His scales looked quite cold. Half covered in feathers, half covered in hair. Nüwa knew that this dragon just loved to eat bear.
Good day, Mr. Mason. Good day, Miss Nüwa. I am Mr. Wingate, and I love to roar! Oops. Excuse me,
He growled with a belch.
Let's see, where was I? Oh, of course. Any questions for me?
Teacher, cried Nüwa with a hint of demurity, why's a dragon in school? Point.
Security.
Is it true, Wingate, sir, about the big contest to eat the most bears? I'd never have guessed.
Yes, indeed, that is true. And I'm in last place. My number is 0. I'm losing that race. But one race I'm winning, you bet your wagon, is the race to eat all the black-hearted dragons. I eat them with pepper, I eat them with cheese, mixed up with spaghetti and fresh lemon squeeze. I eat them with ice cream and maraschino cherries, along with fruit salad and freshly picked berries. And just to be healthy and get all my greens, I eat dragons in stew, along with green beans. Some dragons are scary, and some filled with hate. But to a good dragon, bad dragon tastes great.
And the rest of the year, Nüwa learned and read, 'cause black-hearted dragons don't wanna be dead. It's claws, said Pierre, without raising hand, to rip